Keir Starmer wants to destroy socialism in the party, but he's too scared to move away from the actual policies.
I don't think that a man who publicly advanced trade unions and MPs that stand on picket lines should be in charge of the Labour Party.
The rich are getting richer. I feel a panic, really, of a large group of people just getting ignored, and it's quite worrying.
Can you give me your opinion of Keir Starmer's Labour Party? Do you think he'll be able to fix the cost of living crisis?
No. In a word, no.
They've moved away from the movement and they just care about Parliament, but this is the Labour movement. This is the future of the Labour movement.
I don't even think about them anymore, really. I think what's happening on the picket line and what's on the various picket lines and what's happening on the street with the likes of Enough is Enough and various other campaigns, that's the way forward, really.
It's the old Labour argument of getting back into power, which is like it's just going to reinforce that old cycle of politics that has gone on in this country for centuries.
We haven't got time to wait for anything else. The cost of living crisis, everything else that's going on, So yeah, it's grassroots that's going to make a difference, I think.
Keir Starmer can try and destroy party democracy all he wants, but he doesn't have the guts to take on the socialist policies that we've seen be successful in 2017, that have won the party membership in 2019 and are still winning the party membership now. Rail nationalisation, we've still got it. £15 an hour minimum wage, we won it last year and we've won it this year. And they may not commit to it, but they're going to be pushed on it and pushed on it and pushed on it.
Conservative rule followed by moderate Labour rule, which just enables then a further, more right-wing Conservative government after that, which I think is it's detrimental to the left and the left cause.
The conference has been deliberately created in a certain way this year to demoralise the left. And the Tribune rally just changes it all. I don't know, Reddy, it puts us in the mind frame of supporting the trade unions, which the leadership doesn't want to do. And it is like the root of the Labour movement. You don't get that in Labour anymore in the Labour Party conference.
Do you think that Corbyn would deal with the cost of living crisis better than Starmer?
I think he would. I don't know if he'd be able to do it properly through means in the party, especially the right of the party. Movements like the Labour to Win movement, I think, are detrimental to real change in this country.
And my sense was that there wasn't as much of an energy as previously. I'd been when Jeremy Corbyn was leader, and there seemed like a kind of triumphalism. And I think my sense was that the right of the party have a very strong organising operation, but they don't seem quite as triumphant about it. I think it was quite low key.
I think the media and the history that they've given Jeremy Corbyn would stop him, maybe. Well, I don't know if they'd stop him from being as radical about it, but they would stop him from being able to be as radical about it, which is really sad, because obviously it's that whole personality over politics thing, which is a massive thing in this country, which is causing a lot of problems, I believe.
A lot of the talk in the press room today was that Starmer had successfully purged the party of the hard left. Do you think that's true?
No, it's not true at all. I mean, there's been a retreat by some, but not by all of us. I mean, we've got Faiza Shaheen elected in Chingford and Woodford Green as the Labour candidate. That's brilliant. We're going to get Sam Tarry reselected in Ilford South. That campaign's going really well. We're going to get other socialists elected around this country as Labour candidates.
You're here for the cost of living crisis, I assume?
The cost of living crisis, the climate crisis, I think they're both interconnected. And, I'm on the left of the Labour Party and the Labour movement. And I think, we need radical socialist solutions to both of those crises. And so, I'm excited to hear what speakers have to say today.
And Keir Starmer won't deliver that?
I don't think so. Certainly not on the evidence from party conference. I think there's been an interesting suite of policies. I think they're clearly trying to draw dividing lines with the Tories. They've been very strong, criticising the kind of trickle-down economics and saying that they're not going to have a bonfire of workers' rights. So I think it's not as bad as it could be. It seems like the social democratic wing of the shadow cabinet is really kind of winning out against the Blairite wing. But at the same time, I still don't think it's going far enough, particularly on, measures to resolve the climate crisis and the energy crisis.
There's no doubt about that. And you look across the councils, we've got Jamie Driscoll as Metro Mayor in North of Tyne. He's brilliant. We've got Andy Burnham moving to the left, coming to Enough is Enough rallies. The left's not over in Labour, we're just getting started.
You said that right, because he's moving to the left. He hasn't always been that left.
No, he hasn't always been that left, but he's been at Enough is Enough rallies. I'm not convinced on him yet, but, it's telling that he's moving to the left now, because it shows you that the left isn't over in the party. The guy who wants to be leader, the guy who wants the leadership gig, is coming our way. Not moving to the right, not trying to beat Wes Streeting as to who can be the most right wing. He's moving to us. So clearly there is a base.
I heard about Jeremy Corbyn being here tonight, and we were interested in seeing Jeremy Corbyn speak. He sort of mobilised a large portion of the left, especially the youth of the left, among especially students, and I think he reached out to a lot of those people and brought them into the Labour Party.
I can sense that you'd be a big fan of Liz Truss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, fantastic. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just gone back to Reaganite economics, hasn't it? And what they did in Chile under Pinochet. Trickle down doesn't work. It's total nonsense.
I think it's a disaster. I think the so-called mini budget that we saw from her Chancellor last week, was an act of class warfare, but it was also an act of warfare against our environment. And I think, it's incredibly worrying, and we can't get her out quick enough.
And she's basically going to crash the economy. She's just going to she's just borrowing a load of money, going to give it to her mates. That's going to go offshore. It's not going to be used for investment or anything else. The whole thing's a total nonsense,
She's unelected. She shouldn't be in power. She is, as Joe Lycett said on the BBC, she's the backwash of the Tory party. She's sort of the dregs of what they've got to offer, and I think it's sort of very reminiscent of like old Conservative governments. The end of John Major's sort of thing, where they sort of didn't really have very much to offer. So I think at this point in time they're sort of taking advantage of what they can, sort of taking the money and running. And I think that's what Truss is doing with the mini budget that came out the other day, I think.
If you could say one thing to Liz Truss, what would it be?
Go away. It probably would be not quite as polite as that, but...
That's the most polite you'd go?
That's about the most polite I could go, really. I wouldn't really want to say anything to her, to be honest.
She's sort of taking as much as she can whilst she can, because I believe that she doesn't believe that she can win the next election, and she's just draining everything from the country and giving it back to those and the powers that be and those that have wealth at the moment. And I think that is it's a travesty, and I think there should be a general election immediately.
I don't know. I mean, I used to like watching the thick of it, by Armando Iannucci, and I think he said something where he said, I can't do it anymore because it's beyond parody, and that is basically what it is. It's I try not to think about it because it's just too much.